Happy start to 2022. So today's Ask Allison is actually a worksheet that resonated with a lot of people. So I'm making it its own Ask Allison. It was in response to someone having a scarcity-based response. So the free worksheet this week, it's this written out for you. First, I want to thank TherapyNotes for sponsoring Ask Allison. If you're looking for an all-in-one practice management system, you need to check out TherapyNotes. It's top rated on Trustpilot. It does all the back-end pieces of private practice that you need done: scheduling, charging, billing insurance, doing your notes, sending reminders, storing your intake paperwork, all that action. You can get 2 months free if you use the code ABUNDANT at checkout at therapynotes.com. All right, so we're going to talk about the 6 tools to shift from a scarcity mindset. Are most of your personal conversations complaint-based? There's a lot to be unhappy or worried about. Life is hard. We're in interesting times. We've been in interesting times for a while. So when you're talking about these things or you're listening to others talk about their concerns, notice if it's just stirring the pot for you or if it's actually helping you process. Try a complaint-free day. And by all means, be in action about the things that are making you unhappy, but don't spend your time talking about that thing for the 400th time without any sort of planning or action. Number 2 is check out the people you're around. I love the Tony Robbins quote: "The quality of a person's life is most often a direct reflection of the expectations of their peer group." I'm going to say it again. The quality of a person's life is most often a direct reflection of the expectations of their peer group. And this can really work for us or against us. Are your peers, your parents, coworkers, people who expect you to achieve your goals? Are they people who subtly or not so subtly hold you accountable for doing what you say you're going to do? Are they people who are doing what they want with their life when they can? Or are they complaining about their lives without making any effort to get where they want to go? So if you have naysayers in your life, they're maybe telling you your practice isn't going to work, or that you're a fool for giving up the security of a paycheck. I'm guessing that they aren't living the kind of life you want for yourself, nor are they living the kind of life that they want, maybe. Number 3, own what you have power over, accept what you don't. I don't know if the serenity prayer is overused, but grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can and the wisdom to know the difference. I'm going to go with no, since it's something so few of us are actually good at. If we stay out of macro for a minute, because there's so much to talk about, and we step into your life, what do you have some power over that you're not managing? Maybe it's your private practice caseload. Maybe you're seeing everyone that calls and it feels like an agency when you're in session. Maybe it's your fee or your hours. Maybe it's your time in front of Netflix in the evenings. You're the one with control over those things. Don't let yourself be a victim to things you have control over. Now, you can't control the fact that you have aging parents or a kid with a disability or what breaks next inside your house, but you can accept that these things are your reality and make your life a little better by preparing and managing what you can control within each. Next is that there is no zero-sum game here. Part of what keeps you stuck in scarcity mentality is this idea that there isn't enough to go around. That if your colleague down the hall gets a client, that means you don't. When in actuality, maybe that colleague refers that client's partner to you. So them getting a client leads to you getting a client. I named this company Abundance Practice Building, which in retrospect is entirely too many letters, because I'm really clear that there are way too many clients for us therapists to manage. We need more therapists in the field to help us care for all these people who want our care. If you don't have the clients you want, it's a marketing problem or it's a boundary problem. It's not because no one wants therapy where you live. Next, notice how you spend your time. I spent a really good bit of time in scarcity land in 2020. I felt like shit. I know you probably did too. And what pulled me out of it was looking at how I was spending the time I had control over. There were certain things I had to accept, like my kids' virtual school schedule, and certain things I had to manage, like my media consumption. I have honestly never been so glued to my phone as I was that year. The pandemic and politics and social unrest, I was hitting refresh on news apps and social media like every 10 minutes in my downtime. And meanwhile, I'm aware that if I wanted to cause depression in a person, I'd mandate that they stay on their phones almost constantly looking at news and social media. So I shifted my time. We watched Ted Lasso instead of scrolling. Highly recommend. I got back into regular exercise. I talked to my friends on the phone, and I tried not to spend that time talking about everything going on in the world and instead focus on what was going on in our personal worlds. I walked the dog more. I kept my phone in another room while I was playing with my kids, and I was outside more. 5 great things. So I feel like when I hear the word gratitude, I roll my eyes a little bit, which is a shame because like obviously gratitude is helpful. So I'm going to encourage this. At the end of your day, write down 5 great things about your day. You can't write them down during the day, only at the end of the day. And I find that this keeps me on the lookout for great things all day long. I always end up identifying more than 5 great things during the day. I forget about some of them as the day goes on, but I can definitely identify 5 by the end of the day. I mean, I'm not saying every day is great and amazing. Sometimes it's like, oh, the bananas were on sale, but there were 5 things every day. And it's less about writing them down than it is training your brain to look for the good all day long. There's so much good to notice when you're really looking for it. So that's the worksheet that I'm now narrating. If you guys want this to print out, go on over to our free worksheets. I'll link that. And I hope you have a really great first week of the year. I'll talk to you later.